on Cruse.
Storytime! This is the story about how I went into labor on Wednesday and had my beautiful daughter on Friday. I want to say thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the family, y'all. We getting kind of strong out here. And if you aren't a part of the family, come join in. Click that subscribe button. It's going to be somewhere on this screen right here. Okay, right here. So I have a lot of energy right now to tell this story because back then, 2 years ago when it was going down, your girl had zero energy, none. So the start of this story is February 2016. My husband and I were actually at our good friend's house in Malibu.
Yeah, we were in Malibu. That was a contributing factor to me naming Snow because we were in Malibu. It was all sunny and Malibu-y.
With a lot of the stuff that's going on right now in Malibu with the fires, just the air quality, everything. We just want to send our love, send our prayers and condolences to anybody that may have lost somebody in the fire, anybody that has lost any of their belongings, animals, anything and anyone that's been affected by the fires. We're sending our love. I just kind of knew. I knew I was pregnant and I was like, let's just get a pregnancy test. Let's see. So we went, got the pregnancy test and that thing said pregnant. You know, we'll insert the pic right here. Found out we was pregnant. We were really excited. We planned it. We wanted Snow. We knew that it was gonna happen. It was just crazy to actually see the stick say pregnant. Immediately started doing research. Okay, who are we gonna go to? Let's find this, let's find that. I wanted to go to an OBGYN that was a Black woman. So I started doing my research, asking the homies in Los Angeles, hey, do you know anybody? Can you refer anybody? Along with going to see her in Hawthorne, we kind of, well, me personally, I was just having these urges from the universe and just from life in general and just weird feelings of having a baby in the hospital and just feeling weird, basically, guys. So I was like, I don't know anybody that's had a home birth, but for some reason, I kind of want to have a home birth. He's like, it's daddy's birthday. It's his birthday. It's his birthday. Oh my gosh. That's so crazy. I just felt the urge to do that because of our experience with our OBGYN. She was, like I said, a Black woman and we love going to her, but she just didn't give me that feeling of home, of happiness, of, yay, I'm so happy you're here and I'm gonna deliver your baby. And I think what really put the nail in the coffin for us was when she said, oh yeah, when you get ready to deliver your baby, I'm not gonna be the one that's there. You're gonna go to this big hospital and the doctor on staff is gonna have the baby. They're gonna be there and help you. 1 second, sis. So I'm paying my monies to see you and I'm gonna go there to see somebody I've never seen before? I don't know about y'all, but I'm real big on energy. I didn't wanna just share space with this woman and then all of a sudden have something as spiritual of an experience as having a baby and do that with this new person. I have no idea who they are. Never even seen them before. Not only her saying that, but just the whole process, me asking more questions like, okay, so do I have to lay down? Do I have to stay stationary? What if I don't want to get an epidural? What if I want to play music? What if I want to have candles? And she was just like, not for any of that. I immediately was just completely turned off, guys. And for me and from my experience with having my first baby, I wanted it to be spiritual. I didn't really want it to be boggled down by different energies from the hospital staff, from nurses, doctors, things of that nature. And again, if you have your baby in a hospital, I'm not saying anything in regards to that. That's absolutely fine. It's really about you and your preference. I wanted to do this video because I wanted to give some info, shed some light on home birth, natural birth, midwives, doulas, and just that entire community. Because when I was researching natural home births and just everything like that, I was seeing a lot of women that were recording videos on YouTubes and blogging about it, which was so awesome. But I didn't really see a lot of POC, and POC is people of color. I didn't see a lot of women that looked like me, and that was a little bit disappointing for me because I didn't feel like I had somebody to share that experience with.
I didn't know anything about natural birth. Not natural birth, but you know, home births or anything like that. But I wasn't opposed to the idea of doing this the natural way.
I'm making this video for any woman out there that is a woman of color that wants to have this experience, and maybe their parents are saying, you crazy girl, or their grandma saying, girl, you better have that baby in the hospital, girl. We don't really know all of our options, and we don't know that there's so many other amazing and beautiful things out there. Of course, you have your hospitals, but there's birthing centers, and as I'm telling you guys now, you can have a natural home birth, and it's not scary, it's not crazy, it's nothing that isn't natural. We know when we were first coming here and there weren't hospitals, how do you think we had our births, guys? We had our babies at the cribs. Stars align, guys. When you really want something, the stars will align. So catch this, guys. So my husband, y'all know, y'all me and Ade, he's from Philly, right? Okay, so in high school, he went to high school with this girl named Jazz in Philly. So Ade's here in Philly, then Jazz goes to where I'm from, in the Bay. So, hey, they turning up, they're doing their own thing in their own place. Fast forward to the Bay. Jazz is here, and then Jazz is with Sumi. Of course, Ade comes to California eventually, you know, some years later.
So moving to the Bay was cool. The Bay has a totally different vibe than LA. It reminds me of Philly, but it has mountains. I'm not used to mountains. So I was hiking a lot.
Connects with Jazz, and they're like, hey, what's up, da 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 da. And it just came out that Jazz's girlfriend, Sumi, she a midwife.
The universe is tricky. It works in magical ways.
And if you don't know what a midwife is, essentially they aid you in the process of giving birth to your baby. Sumi, I'm texting Sumi. And she's like, yeah, I would love to aid you in your home birth, but you gotta come to the Bay. Could you come to the Bay? And I was like, because at the time our living situation was a little shaky, and we were like, yeah, I think, but we were still living in LA. Mind you guys, by this time I'm like 7 months pregnant, and yeah, we just found ourselves back in the Bay. And I immediately texted Sumi. Shout out Sumi. I'm gonna link all her info there. Like I said, y'all, she's a fire midwife, and her amazing mentor, Andrea. I'm gonna also link their information right there. So if you're interested in the Bay Area specifically, you can tag their Instagrams, click on it, look at all their profiles. They're the most amazing, beautiful women that God has placed into my life, and for them I'm so grateful and so thankful. Let's do this. We about to do this. So we were all super excited. Our first session was amazing. I just love feeling like I'm just at home, and I think that was also really important for me that I had my first daughter in my hometown. Because being in LA, it was just a lot. In LA, it was just me and Ade. We didn't really have any other family down there besides my best friend who was there. And so we started doing amazing workshops, from like talking about our fears, talking about our accomplishments, what we want to do with snow, how we want our birth to look like, of course an emergency plan just in case if we needed to go to the hospital, things of that nature. And it was just a community, just a feeling, an amazing feeling of women coming together, all for the same purpose, the purpose of me in that case, having a beautiful birth that looked and felt like how I wanted it to look and feel like. My due date was November 22nd, 2016. Mind you guys, I was super excited. That's one of my really good friends' birthdays. So I was like, okay, you and your auntie gonna have the same birthday. And then I wake up on November 16th at about 2 a.m. And I'm like, hey boo, I think I'm in labor. Just a little bit. I feel a little something. I'm in labor, okay, labor. And that was really just the beginning. Because like I said, y'all, that was Wednesday morning. I didn't have snow until Friday morning. So there's 3 stages of labor, if I remember correctly, guys. So the first phase is the stirring up phase. And that's essentially when your body is telling you like, sis, it's about that time. It's about that time. Then there's the active labor phase, which is when it's happening. You're dilating, you're spreading them wide, you're getting ready to push that sucker out, okay? And then it's the last phase, which is, of course, EARTHSIDE. And that is when your baby is in your arms and the placenta is going to be soon coming out. Once I get the word from Sumi, she's like, you're good, just, you know, relax. This is just the beginning of the process. And when she said that, I didn't quite know what that meant. As you know, guys, when you see movies or you're even thinking about just birth in general, if you've never had a kid or you've never been pregnant before, you're just thinking like, okay, my water gonna break, I'm gonna give a couple pushes and they're gonna be out. And it's like, oh, that's actually not really how it happens. For some women, it does happen like that, but for others, it doesn't. And I was told that in my family, we labor long, which essentially means that, you know, our labor process is quite long and it can last for days. I would say on a scale of 1 to 5, my contractions were like a 2. And they were spaced out a good amount. I think like every 5 minutes at first they were coming, and it was chill. We got up, we went to Safeway, we bought some groceries, we stocked up on snacks and supplies and water, you know, stuff but easy for me to snack on, keep myself hydrated, keep myself with nutrients and stuff in my body so that I could withstand this laboring. Again, this is before I knew it was gonna be 3 days. So I'm just thinking, we're gonna grab a couple snacks, I'm not gonna really need anything.
I'm thinking it's gonna be like, boom, labor, birth, here. No, didn't happen.
So we get back home, we eat breakfast. Our midwives aren't there just yet. Our doula was there, but let me tell you guys a little bit about doulas. Midwife, they're the ones that assist you mainly with the natural birth process, and essentially if you just think about it like this, they're like the doctors, and the doulas are like the nurses. Doulas are here for your emotional support, your mental support, physical support, definitely. They just help with the process, make sure you're in the right headspace. Anything from like massaging your arms, your legs, your body, just all types of support, they're there to support. And we had the most amazing doula. Shout out Tony Rochelle. She actually has a YouTube channel of her own. I'm gonna link that down below as well. With the whole process, everybody's kind of in and out up until the point that you're in active labor, and it's, you know, the situation where you're gonna be pushing the baby out. The stirring up phase basically lasted for like a solid day. And I think I was about 3 or 4 centimeters by the time that they checked. And active labor is when you either get to 5 or 6 centimeters. I believe it's 6. Another reason why we wanted to have a home birth was the setting. I wanted to be able to create the vibe. I wanted to set the tone, set the mood. By that, I created this beautiful Apple playlist. It had like high energy songs and low energy songs and just a lot of different feelings on it. Like it was like Sade on there, Bob Marley, Beyonce, you know, when I needed a little energy. We ended up playing this one song. Y'all, it's this song by Sade. It's called Mermaid. So we played this song, Mermaid, y'all. It was literally on repeat for like a day, like no fronting, like a whole full 24 hours somebody else in the room will say it was longer. It was 48 hours. So by the end of the birth, guys, by the time Snow White came out, everybody was like, if I hear that damn song one more time. We had candles. We had this beautiful, beautiful wood. It's called Palo Santo. A little stick of wood that you burn, and it kind of smudges the energy, cleans the energy in the room and the atmosphere, and gets you in a nice Zen zone. So that was burning, of course, throughout the day. Well, the days. And also my amazing sister brought flowers, so it just kind of set off the scenery of the situation. Now that was inside the house, y'all. Okay, outside the house, at the time my mom lived in this freaking beach house, guys. Like I wish that y'all could see this house. It was literally insane. On the water, we had a private beach in the backyard, so it was like the perfect peaceful setting. I could hear the waves crashing on the shore, going up and back. Of course, we could clearly see the sunrise, the sunset, and that really just set the entire mood for the process of just, as the waves go in, they go out. And they kind of was synonymous with the contractions, because that's how I was looking at it. I was looking at it as the pain goes in and then the pain goes out. So in California, as y'all know, we like to do a couple things out there. No, I was not getting high, but you know, just a layman's term of marijuana that does not get you high, and it's called CBD. It's non-psychoactive. It does not get you high in any fashion, because there's no THC involved. It's actually used for pain relief, cell regeneration. CBD is probably like the most amazing thing that you don't know about. So if you don't know about it, Google it, because it's so amazing. So in this setting, of course, I was using it for pain relief, because come on, I'm about to have a baby, and you know, no epidural, I'm at the crib with it, so it is what it is. It was helping me just with pain management and just keeping a clear head and just making me feel, you know, like, I'm at peace. I can do this. My little brother was kind of in and out, which was funny. He was kind of like, it was a lot for him to handle. You know, imagine your older sister having a baby in your mama's living room. A little crazy, a little crazy. So, you know, I get it. My older sister was there. Graham J made an appearance all the way from Philly. Okay, she hopped on that plane, y'all, and she came out. And she said the whole time when she was in the plane, in the air, she was like, I just pray that she does not have my grandbaby yet. Don't have my grandbaby yet. Do not have my grandbaby yet. And y'all, I kind of blame her, because I think because when she said that, it pushed the labor to 2 more days. Day 2 comes. Mind you, I didn't really sleep that much at night, you know, day 1. Because when you lay down, for me at least in my experience, when I was laying down, the contractions were a little bit worse. So I kind of was just sitting up most of the night, staying active, just kind of, you know, doing squats, squatting into my contractions, walking a lot, just trying to get Snow to move and, you know, make her way out this thing. Day 2 contractions, they start getting a little more intense, because my midwives were like, all right, we got to get you a little more dilated. We want to kick right into active labor. So a part of natural birth, of course, is to do natural things. So when you're in the hospital, they have different medicines that they can give you to speed up your contractions and your dilation process. And of course, when you're having a home birth, they don't have those things. They have other things like herbs. So I was taking black and blue cohosh, just drinking it in like little shots. Some of the first settlers here and our natives and ancestors, that's what they took when they were trying to speed along their birthing process. And again, it just works naturally with your body, and it helps you dilate. And then also nipple stimulation. It helps with the uterus contractions. So it's this amazing thing called oxytocin. Essentially, it's like the love hormone. And when you're giving birth, when you have your baby, when you're in the process, oxytocin helps you contract. It helps soften the cervix. It just helps the whole thing. Okay, honey. And you know, you can get a little bit of that by some good old-fashioned love making. Oh, you can't do that in the hospital. So one of the, actually, it sounds crazy, but honestly, guys, sex works. It helps. And it just speeds up the whole process because it creates that oxytocin between you and your partner. And it, again, it just helps you dilate. So, you know, we was trying to, we couldn't really have, you know, crazy sex or nothing like that. Cause you know, contractions, you know, uterus opening up, you know, stuff like that. So it was just a little something, you know, a little something.
My wife is looking good, still pregnant. Had to put some moves on her.
Guys, I just can't even express enough how amazing and wonderful my husband was throughout the whole process. Y'all, he was putting in so much energy that this man got sick. Like, and when I say sick, like sick, like body aches, runny nose.
I think I cried the second day. I did cry the second day. It was like this moment I had with me and God, and just everything came rushing to me at once. I knew that this was the last day that I was going to be of self. I was transitioning into a place of selflessness. Whole home birth experience. I was so fortunate to have so many women, so many great women in place.
He was just a major help, everything. Walking with me, squatting with me, just helping me breathe. And of course, we were kind of going in shifts. So like the doula was there with me, checking in on me, then she would take a nap. And then Sumi was there with me, midwife, and then she would take a nap. And then Andrea would be in and out, taking naps. It was like fully shifts because, you know, in this 3-day process, people have to sleep, people have to just eat, take in the energy when they can, and natural birth in that way. That's why it kind of takes a community, because it can be an exhaustive experience, and you know, gotta replenish yourself. And let me tell y'all, by night 2, because by this point I was in active labor from, you know, the black cohosh, the blue cohosh, and my body was, you know, starting to really work itself on its own. So I was at 7 centimeters by night 2. So them contractions, y'all, they were a solid 5. On a scale of 1 to 5, they were a 5. No doubt about it. I was kind of not, I was fighting the contractions basically. And one thing that my midwife said that really stuck with me was you have to accept them, you have to flow and move with them, and it'll be less painful. And it sounds crazy, right? Like, accept pain? What you talking about, girl? You're crazy. But it really worked. Once I kind of looked to change my mindset, I was like, wow. It's kind of like a wall, and Sumi already prepped us for it, and she told us, like, hey, once you hit this point, you're gonna feel like it's a wall, and you're gonna feel like you can't get over that wall. But she was like, when you get to that wall, that means that she's gonna be coming out pretty soon. So to prepare me for that wall, I had cut out on pieces of paper affirmations, and they said things like, I can do this, I'm strong, I'm powerful. It was just all little pieces of paper that we had laminated and that I had on the bed, just little messages and encouraging words that I had for myself that I knew I was gonna need eventually. So I would just be reading those little phrases in those pieces of paper, and that honestly helped get me through the wall. Because by this time, y'all, Snow was in the birthing canal. Like, the pressure was there. That was me, just taking a deep breath, trying to get through it all. I don't even remember night 2, y'all. Like, I definitely didn't sleep. I was taking like baby cat naps. Before I knew it, it was 5 a.m. Andrea woke me up and she was like, Jazz, we're having this baby this morning, so are you ready? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready, let's do it.
3rd day is here. Still no baby. Snow, what are you doing in there?
So Andrea and Tony, they ran me my bath water. It's nice and lukewarm because when you're actually in warm water, it helps steady and slow the contractions so that I could kind of get some rest. Because like I said, I really hadn't slept for 2 nights and they knew I was super exhausted. And when I was in the tub, we did not that we didn't hear Snow's heart beating, but it was kind of faint. It wasn't beating as strong. So, and I give so much love and just wow to Andrea, because I knew that she had helped so many women give birth. She wasn't even freaked out. It felt as if she had been here before, and she gave me that same energy, so it helped me not freak out in this process. But she was like, honey, we're gonna get you out of the bathtub. We're gonna have this baby right now. I cannot feel a steady heartbeat. So we need to get Snow out. She's getting tired and you're getting tired. So let's do this.
And then that moment happened where we thought we were losing Snow, and I froze. I completely just went blank. I remember the doula talking to me, but I don't know what she was saying.
So we leave the tub, we go into the living room. They break my water because, mind you, like I said, it doesn't always happen where your water breaks and woo, breeze, hospital, yeah, push her out. She had to break my water. That happened, and my mucus plug had already came out, so I at least knew that much had happened. And I was on all fours on the couch, and we were like, we are getting this baby out. And guys, this lasts, I want to say 30 minutes to an hour. It was about 30 minutes actually of just kind of going through this process of let's get Snow out. My sister was behind me and she was holding me up. And again, we were like, we're getting Snow out. Like, come on, you got this. So this actual experience was really beautiful. And I loved this part about the birth. I was still only about 8 centimeters dilated, but being the amazing midwives that they are, Sumi and Andrea, they immediately know what to do. Sumi was like, we're gonna force dilate you. Period, sis. We doing it. You ready? Let's go. So Sumi sticks her finger up there, hooks it. She's pulling it open, and she's like, when you feel a contraction, sis, push. Let's do it. Mind you, y'all. So we're all here. My mom had stepped out for just a moment to grab, I think, more supplies, more water, what may have you. Ade's mom calls my mom and tells her, the baby heartbeat! We can't hear the baby heartbeat! So my mom, she calls the freaking ambulance. She calls 911. Y'all, it was too much. So we got Ade's mom freaking out. We got my mom freaking out through the phone. We hear the fire department. They knocking on the door. Is everyone okay in here? And I'm like, wait, what? What is happening?
I didn't know what was going on. I was scared. I was terrified. I understand why Jazz mom called the fire department and the police and all that. It just was a terrifying moment. But we are just so fortunate to have had well practiced, trained women of birth.
For me, I just was like, I'm good. And then I just went back to focusing. So again, I don't blame my mom. She wasn't there. She was freaked out. All she heard over the phone was her heartbeat is irregular. The tension in the room was high at this point, and I was this close to hearing his mom and my mom saying, I told you so! And a contraction hit, so I just started pushing, like just pushing with all of my might. It was a little bit of pee, it was a little bit of poop. Yeah, all of it. Just, you know, you lose control of everything because you're just trying to push the baby out. My husband is right down there. He looking at it. He not afraid one bit. He in there, y'all. He was like, where we at? That was him. I was like, yo, I love this man so much. Because I just hear so many stories where the husband is like, oh, I'm going to stay up here. Or, you know, I don't want to look. But I got to give it to this man. He looked. He was fully engaged. Not only was he fully engaged, y'all, he caught Snow on her way out. Okay, look at that man right there. So I'm just pushing Snow out. I feel the ring of fire For people who don't know what the ring of fire is, it's when the baby's head is, you know, just about to come out, and it's like crowning basically. So it's like like this type. After that, I looked down, I saw a head, and I was like, that's a head, y'all. That's a baby. That is a baby's head. And I was able to see, because Sumi had a mirror that she had placed in between my legs that she was holding up. And I don't know how she was doing this. She was, mind you, holding up this mirror and holding my hand at the same time. And me and her just locked eyes, and I just zoned in. I just tapped into a euphoric realm, and I was there, y'all. So I was just pushing and pushing. And my body, you're only supposed to push when you're having contractions. But my body was like, no, sis, get her out, fam, get her out. Yeah, the head was out. Then her shoulders were out. And then I saw her body, then her legs, and before I knew it, everybody was screaming and crying and laughing, and Ade had caught her, and it was just wow. It was like, wow. At that moment, I was like, I just did this. I just really had a baby. Not only did I have a baby, I did it in my mom's living room. I did it without any drugs. I did it. Wow. In that moment, y'all, I realized how powerful I was as a woman, as a human, as a mother, as everything. It was amazing. So right as Snow was coming out, Andrea told Ade that he needed to suck the fluids and everything out of Snow's mouth, because while she was inside, they had to break my water, which basically disturbed the flow of her in the sac. So he had to suck out all the fluid from her mouth to make sure no bacteria or anything was in there. So she literally came out, and he immediately just sucked up all the fluids in her mouth. You could ask him what that tasted like. I'm sure he'll let y'all know.
Sumi's like, it's a go time. So I'm locked in. I know what I gotta do. I've been given orders to catch this baby, this child, this precious thing. I thought I was going to be nervous. I wasn't nervous. I knew I was going to catch her and, you know, not drop her on her head. She's coming out. She's crowning. I see the head. I see this hair, and I go in and I reach. And she just falls, like, right in. She just falls right into me. And I got her in my arms, and I just go right in for the suck. I suck out all the fluids and all the poop and all this stuff, the blood, the poop, the fluids, everything that's inside of Snow. I suck it with all my might, and then she takes her first breath, and we hear her cry, and it was like, wow, I just gave my daughter life. I just gave my daughter her first breath.
It is.
Hi, pretty girl.
Oh, yes.
How can I assist you? Goodness.
Giving birth to the placenta is the last part. Placenta is essentially, it looks like a tree when you look at it. When you pull it out of the womb, it looks like a tree with all the veins and everything like that. And essentially it's called the tree of life. And that is because when you're pregnant, the placenta is what's giving your baby energy, water, food, nutrients, vitamins, blood. Everything is running to your baby through the placenta. So the placenta, the afterbirth, basically is full of a whole bunch of amazing things. And after you give birth, it's really awesome to put that right back into your body, because you gave it to the baby while you were, you know, carrying the baby for 9 months. And from there, well, not in that moment. Well, actually, yes. And from there, we actually had a little sliver of the placenta in a smoothie, which was, it actually didn't taste terrible. It didn't taste like anything really, but I did feel like I had got a lot of energy, and we tasted that right after I gave birth. So that was pretty dope. And so for all my ladies out there that are interested in home birth but they have people in their lives that are basically saying don't do it. You just have to stay headstrong, stay head fast in what you want, and that's basically what my husband and I did with our situation. So there's definitely a misconception about home birth. Like I said, just a lot of lack of knowledge, really, not due to anybody else's fault. It's not a lot of research on it, and people just don't know too much. So if you're thinking about having a home birth, it's absolutely fine. You're amazing. If you don't want to have a home birth, you're just as amazing and fine. And there is a community of women out here for you that are willing to help. I am one of them. If you have any questions just about on home birth or anything like that, doulas, midwives, definitely reach out to me, and I'd love to help or answer any of your questions, because after we had this home birth situation, everybody in the room was just in love, amazed. They were like, wow, I never knew this would be such a spiritual experience. The whole vibe of the room changed. My mom was flabbergasted and in love, and Ade's mom was the exact same way. So it turned out to be good, and nobody said I told you so. When you don't know too much information about something, you just don't really know. So you know, you have your best interests for your kids at heart, of course. But you know, you're skeptical, and I don't blame them. So we just kind of had to get past that. So if you are thinking about having a home birth, don't be discouraged by those thoughts, by the resistance. It's coming from a place of love. And at first I didn't understand that at that time, but looking back now, I see that they were only doing it out of love. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was an interesting story time. So I hope this video clears up any misconceptions about home birth, the process. So I will keep it all the way 1,000 with you. It was not easy in any form or facet. I had to tap into the deepest parts of myself and my brain and my mind and my spirit that I didn't even know that I had.
My wife did a great job. Amazing. She's a superwoman. She is the woman, the Mecca, the God. She's the everything. She is the temple I worship. Welcome to the family. Come on, hit that subscribe button. What y'all doing?